The first thing you feel isn't warmth. It isn't cold either. It's nothing. You are literally a block. A dried out, shriveled, sad-looking skull sitting on a shelf of bone in the middle of the Soul Sand Valley, and you have been here for what might be centuries. No thoughts, no dreams, just vibes and not even good ones. You're surrounded by soul sand, which, fun fact, is made from the screaming faces of the damned. Great neighborhood. Your existence right now is roughly equivalent to a freeze-dried astronaut meal, except nobody's excited to rehydrate you. You're a dried ghast, a dehydrated husk of what was once a living, floating, deeply emotional jellyfish-looking creature. Your ancestors? Oh, they were aquatic, like full-on water-loving, tentacle-having, gills and everything aquatic. They belonged in oceans, in rivers, in anywhere with moisture. Instead, some cosmic prank dumped your entire species into the one dimension with zero water, maximum lava, and a permanent sunset that never actually sets. The Nether, the literal worst vacation destination in the multiverse. Your relatives are still there, by the way, massive, crying, fireball-spitting ghasts floating around and screaming at anyone who comes close. They're not evil, they're in pain. They cry constantly to produce tears just to keep their babies alive in a world that was never meant for them. The sounds they make? Those haunting wails? Recorded from a real cat who got woken up from a nap. Even the voice acting is based on suffering. But here's the twist. Some player stumbles through a nether portal, spots you wedged next to a bone block in a fossil, and goes, "Huh, that looks interesting." They punch you. You break off like a cookie from a baking sheet. You're now an inventory item sitting between some rotten flesh and a half-eaten golden apple. Classy. Now, getting found like this is actually pretty lucky. Only about 1 in 3 nether fossils even spawns a dried ghast, and most players walk right past without noticing. Some players don't even bother exploring, they just craft one from 8 ghast tears and a soul sand block, which means some poor ghast relatives had to get absolutely demolished for the ingredients. Others try bartering with piglins, flicking gold ingots at those snorting hog merchants for a 2% chance of a dried ghast. But you got picked up the old-fashioned way, snatched straight from the source. And honestly, this is the best thing that's ever happened to you, even if you're too dehydrated to know it. Back through the portal you go. The overworld hits different even as a block. Then it happens. The player places you on the ground and dumps water on you. And suddenly every cell in your dried-out little skull starts tingling. This is what a raisin feels like when it dreams about being a grape again. Green particles start fizzing off you like you're a bath bomb at a 5-star spa. Your expression shifts. For 5 minutes, you're still frowning, still holding on to that ancestral trauma like it's a personality trait. Then at 10 minutes, your face goes neutral like you just realized, maybe, just maybe, things might be okay. By 15 minutes, you're smiling. Actually smiling. You haven't smiled in possibly thousands of years. And at 20 minutes, pop. You burst out of that crusty shell as a ghastling, a tiny, adorable, floating baby with stubby tentacles and the world's most genuine grin. You're alive. You're wet. You're happy. You are roughly the size of a single block, which in Minecraft makes you basically a basketball with tentacles. But you don't care. Everything is new and everything is wonderful. You bob around in the air like a helium balloon at a birthday party. And the sunlight, oh, the sunlight. Your ancestors never saw this. Generations of ghasts lived and died in that orange hellscape without ever feeling a single ray on their skin. You're out here experiencing it for the first time, and honestly, it hits like that scene in Shawshank Redemption where Andy crawls through the sewer and stands in the rain. Except you're a floating jellyfish baby and nobody committed any crimes. You've still got gills, by the way. Tiny little slits on your body that prove your species was never meant for the Nether. You can literally go underwater and not drown. You're more fish than ghost at this point. You float around, exploring everything within a 64-block radius of your birthplace because apparently you've got an invisible leash tying you to home. Relatable. Honestly, you're like a college student who keeps coming back to their parents' house every weekend to do laundry. The player who freed you? They're your parent now. You imprinted on them the moment that water hit your block, like a duckling bonding with the first thing it sees, except you're a floating ghost jellyfish, and they're wearing full diamond and carrying a sword that could delete you. You follow them around with that big dopey smile. Bumping into chickens, staring at cows, chasing pigs and wolves, within a 16-block radius like a toddler at a petting zoo who's had way too much sugar. Villagers fascinate you the most. You just hover near them, grinning, while they nervously shuffle their trades and pretend you're not there. Monsters, though? You want nothing to do with those. You ignore zombies, skeletons, creepers, all of them. You didn't escape the Nether just to start beef in the Overworld. Then the snowballs start. The player chucks one at your face. Rude? Actually no, each snowball that bonks you on the head accelerates your growth. It's like protein shakes, but frozen. 10 of them and you've basically speedrun puberty. Without them, you'd need another full 20 minutes to mature. But your player is out here any percenting your childhood. Minutes pass, your tentacles extend, your body inflates. You go from basketball size to filling an entire 4x4 block space. You're massive now, bigger than a minivan, bigger than most rooms in a village house. Your health has doubled compared to your Nether cousins. 20 hit points to their pathetic 10. And unlike those miserable fireballing relatives of yours, you don't attack anyone. You can't even shoot fireballs. You traded the family flamethrower for a permanent smile and honestly, best deal ever made. Then the harness appears. 3 leather, 2 glass blocks, 1 wool block, that's all it takes to craft the thing that changes your life forever. The player approaches, and you feel it settle onto your head like a crown. Suddenly, you're not just a pet floating around uselessly. You're a mount, a vehicle. The player hops on, sitting right above your face, and grabs the controls. For the first time, you understand what you were actually born to do. Not the aimless, sad drifting your ancestors did through the Nether, dodging their own reflections and weeping into lava lakes. Real flying. Intentional, controlled, somebody actually wants to be here flying. You cruise at 3.6 meters per second, which isn't exactly breaking the sound barrier, but when you're gliding above the treetops with the wind against your face, it feels like freedom incarnate. 3 more players hop on. You can carry 4 at once. You're a flying party bus with tentacles, and business is absolutely booming. Someone's eating steak up there, someone else is taking screenshots for the group chat. When everybody dismounts, they just stand on top of you while you hover in place, automatically locking to face a cardinal direction so nobody slides off. You're not just a mount, you're a floating observation deck. But it gets even better. The player attaches a lead to a boat, clips that lead onto you, and suddenly you're hauling cargo through the sky. Boats, horses, donkeys, camels, even sniffers. You're airlifting the entire animal kingdom. Some players stuff a villager into a boat and leash the whole thing to you, turning you into a mobile trading post at altitude. There's no weight limit. You're a 1 Ghast airline with unlimited baggage allowance and 0 turbulence. FedEx could never. Life becomes routine in the best way possible. You fly, you carry, you hover around home with a grin, doing absolutely nothing productive. Sometimes you take damage, a skeleton lands a lucky shot, or you drift near lava because old instincts die hard. Normally you'd heal at 1 hit point every 30 seconds, which is agonizingly slow. But your player knows the secret. They fly you up, higher and higher, past the mountains, past the birds, until you hit that sweet spot between Y levels 187 and 196. The cloud layer. The moment you enter it, your body starts regenerating at 1 hit point per second. It's like stepping into a spa, but for your entire soul. The moisture activates something ancient in your DNA, that aquatic biology finally getting what it's always craved. Rainy days hit even harder. When the sky opens up, you just float there with your face turned upward, healing at maximum speed, experiencing what your species has been denied for millennia. This is what your ancestors cried for. Literally. You're not fire immune though. That's the cruel irony. Your Nether cousins can swim through lava pools like it's a heated jacuzzi. But you? 1 stray flame and you're in serious trouble. You also don't panic when you take damage, which sounds brave but is actually just a complete lack of self-preservation instincts. A skeleton shoots you and you just keep smiling. An arrow sticking out of your side, grin still going, 0 urgency. You're basically a golden retriever in blimp form. Happiness comes with vulnerability, which honestly sounds like something your therapist would embroider on a pillow. Stay away from lava. Stay near clouds and rain. You've gone from a creature of the underworld to a creature of the sky. And you wouldn't change a thing. Time passes. More dried ghasts get rehydrated. A whole squad of your kind now floats around the base, bumping into each other with matching grins and 0 survival instincts. Collectively, you're called a chuckle. A chuckle of happy ghasts. That's not a joke, that's the official term. You bob around together like a fleet of blimp-sized smiley faces, sharing a single brain cell between all of you, and life is genuinely good. For a creature that started as a dusty skull on a shelf in literal hell, Being a flying party bus with a healing factor, 4-person seating, and unlimited cargo capacity is a pretty unbelievable gig. The only downside, you still can't figure out why chickens are so fascinating. You've been chasing them since you were a ghastling and you still have absolutely no idea what you'd do if you actually caught one.